Lafayette Mandala, Baby Fahoudie, it's your favorite warrior Black Panther in the building today with a brand new podcast. I want to introduce y'all to my comrades, my fellow Awo, my fellow priests, my fellow Isheshe devotees, Bàbá Ade and Iya Ayoka. Please introduce yourselves. Don't let me do all the talking.
Okay. So, as my brother has introduced me, as we all have like 11 names, I go by Ifakorede. I go by Adetayo. I go by Efubukola. And people know me online as Orire.
Bora Boye, everyone. I am Ayoka. I have a few names. Maybe I'll wait till next show to name the other few. But I mainly just go by Ayoka. My handle on Instagram is Mystic Amazon.
Y'all already know me, man. Black Panther in the building. But for today, I will be Ògújìnmí. That is the name that you will get for this podcast. And you will not get my other one, so don't ask. No, I treat my names like that one story about Eshu where they say those that know his three names can send him on messages. Mm-hmm. So I only tell people one name at a time. You'll either know Ògújìnmí or you'll know Ifadele, but you'll never know the third one. So don't ask me. But we wanted to come together, put this podcast together. Being young priests in this tradition, a lot of the information come from, our elders, our elder priests in this tradition. So we wanted to give you guys the perspective from relatively young Awo and specialists in this tradition. So that's why we're bringing you guys this podcast. The unique thing, one of the unique things about this podcast is you have two different lineages here. And actually, I was thinking, we actually have three different lineages here because my Ifa is Osogbo, but my Ogun is more Oyo. So we actually have three. And I'll let you guys talk about your lineage.
Okay. So our lineage is from Abeokuta. And that's literally means under the rock. Abe means under, Ukuta means rock, and there's a whole history behind that. I won't go too much into it, but pretty much the city is sitting kind of at the foot of a large rock, and there's an Òrìṣà associated with that rock. A lot of history of during the time where there were wars happening between Dahomey, Oyo, and other groups. People were getting kidnapped in slavery, things like that. The Egba, which are the people of Abeokuta, they retreated into the rock. And they hid there. They worship a particular Òrìṣà called Igun. Whole long history. If you've been to Abeokuta, you've seen Olumo Rock. If you haven't, I recommend going there. If you go there, it's I would say like a really magical place, because on top of that rock, there's so many different Òrìṣà. Like, yes, they have the Igun, which is the main Òrìṣà of the rock. That they say that this Òrìṣà created a cloud over the rock to protect the Egba people from being kidnapped into slavery and things like that, during those times. And it's kind of weird. We say that they were protected by that, but we also see Egba expressions, cultural expressions within the diaspora. So that's kind of a conundrum that's always got me. So I think some of them were brought into the diaspora, but yeah. So Abeokuta is a very magical place. I would recommend anybody goes there. Yeah, and that's where my Ifa and my Òrìṣà lineage comes from as well.
Yeah, same for me. All in Abeokuta, under the Akiwani lineage. And I'm also a part of Ile Ifaloba. Shout out to my Ile and my Ia Chief Otun, Ia Nifa, Ifa Bure. All under the Akiwani lineage as well in America.
You know, I've only seen pictures of Abeokuta, like some people posted on TikTok, and it looks surreal. It's definitely on the list to go to. I do have a friend that's been, Oloye Ifakemi has been, and she's shared some pictures with me. So it's definitely on the list to go to because it looks like just a surreal place. You know, some people have done like drone shots of the area, and it just looks amazing. So definitely make it out there to Abeokuta and just learn their rich history of that area. It just looks amazing. Why do you guys think that lineage is important? You know, a lot of people, a lot of different lineages, a lot of different towns, a lot of different cities, you know, a lot of different types of variations of different Òrìṣà. But why is lineage talked about so much in our community?
Well, I would say, for me, when I think of that, is history, protocols, because just like our family lineages, we have different styles, different traditions, different things of how we work or how we greet each other or may how we gather around the food we may eat. I think it's very rooted in how we may chant or how we may invoke, how we may venerate. I think it's very important to know, especially where you have done your initiation, the history of it, the land. I think it all coincides, and it makes it even much more powerful to know and understand that history. I think that's the main thing for me, anyway.
Definitely. I think
Yeah, so just to add
go ahead, brother.
No. I was just gonna add to what Ia said. There's a proverb that says, correct me if I get it wrong, but it says, "Bi won she ni lukan ewo ni bomi." So excuse me if I got that proverb wrong, but it's just basically saying the way they do in one place could be taboo in another. And so I like the point that you made. I think it applies to that there's different ways of doing things, and Ifa never ceases to amaze me. There's some things that y'all do in Oshogbo, and I'm like, whoa, like I didn't, and then some things that we do over here, and then people be like, I didn't know y'all did that, So I do think, to add to your point, that it's we all practice Ifa. Oromila went around spreading Ifa to different places, but you got to remember that the Yoruba people are not one people. That designation comes about, in recent times. They're individual groups of people. The Egbas do things one way. So when you go to Abeokuta, it's like they kind of do Ifa in their own kind of way. I'll even hear y'all chant some verses in Oshogbo. I'm like, I know that verse, but then it'll be like some, dialectical differences. So I think we all do Ifa. It's all love. We all respect each other. But it's important to recognize those little kind of cultural nuances in terms of how people, different offerings, songs are a little different, the beats are a little different, things like that. Even the drums are different as well.
Yeah. I think Ia said something that was powerful, like, just different families. I look at, the different Yoruba people as families, like ethnic groups of people as families. So just like our families in America, we all Black, but we all got our little different things that we do,
Yep.
So-and-so might pull the membrane off the ribs the day before, So-and-so might wait till the day of, so-and-so might do it next week, it's kind of like that. And you mentioned those dialectical changes, man. Oyo will really confuse you if you don't know, because they don't have that sh sound. So
I'm about to say, y'all with that Osa.
They're Osa or Risa. And you'd be like, what's going on? Like, why are they? why aren't they saying Ashe? Why are they saying so you know, training but with my Oluo, he speaks an Oyo dialect sometimes, like he goes back and forth. So at times, when he trains me, I have to look out for that. I have to ask him, "Is there a dot under this under this S bar?" Because you not finna get me to start speaking Oyo dialect.
Exactly.
I don't want to start because people look at you crazy. So, yeah, it's just little differences. Like you said, the songs or the verse may be almost exactly the same, but it might just be something different, you know. And lineage is that's why it's important, you know. And it's honor. It's honor in that lineage, you know, to be from, you know, this place and to represent the Babas and the Iyas that taught you in this place in the manner in which you conduct your rituals. You know, you're a representative of, you know, your Ile and your Egbe everywhere you go. You know, people from Ile Ife carry themselves a certain way. So Oyo, Shobo, Biokuta, you know, Ilorin, wherever you're from, you carry yourself in the way you were trained. So your training speaks things about you that, you know, people know just by the way you conduct yourselves. And that's the power of lineage. You know, like Ile Ife has a different Odu order than Oshogbo does. And being that the person that initiated me before he transitioned to the ancestor realm, Bàbá Ade Dayo Ologundudu, was from Ile Ife. That was the first order I learned. So imagine I'm living in Atlanta at the time. Everyone else that's Isheshe is Oshogbo. So at this time, I'm like, I'm hearing the order. I'm going, what is what is going on? This Odu order is off. Like, no, they not off. You're but
it's no different than, you know, here in the US. Like, we all have hip hop, but you can tell Atlanta, well, at least in our generation of hip hop, now it's a little hard to tell the difference. But you know, you could in 90s, 2000s Atlanta hip hop, you could hear 5 seconds, you know, that's Atlanta hip hop. You know, okay, that's Luda, that's T.I., that's this. You go back, that's Outkast. New York got its own sound, you know. We all do AAVE, but you could hear somebody talk for 5 seconds. You know, you can hear a Philly person talk for 5 seconds. You know, once they start that, yo, you draw, and like I'm like, oh, okay, that's from Philly. Once I, you know, so it's all one culture, you know, but we just have different cultural expressions, and I think it's important to honor those while still being one group of people, you know.
I also don't think it's a coincidence. I think spiritually you're drawn to a certain lineage for a certain reason and a certain purpose too. Sometimes, because maybe one lineage, you know, wouldn't have tapped in to what you needed necessarily spiritually, physically, you know, even for your own family, you know, your bloodline or something. You know, you never know. So
yeah,
I agree.
But that definitely is another aspect, because, you know, your teachers, you know, those people that are put in your life, part of your destiny. So, you know, you needed to go this route to get the most out of your destiny, you know, and that's very important. And sometimes that may be why a teacher-student relationship doesn't work out,
right?
Because this lineage might not be the lineage that you need to be going towards. So that's a very important aspect that you brought up, Iya. And I just thought about, even our beads can be different based on lineage. You know, I've seen, you know, with Ogun, I've seen black, I've seen red.
We do red, right?
Yeah, we do red.
Y'all do red, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you got my lineage that don't do any beads at all. They just do iron. So you know, it's variations. So when you see the reddish, you know, I'll be like, oh, okay, you know, Kuta, maybe another area, but you know, you see black, you might see another area. So that's just the variations in lineages. But again, it says stuff about you before you even speak, we'd be like, oh, okay, all right, you know, because
yeah, like one of my you know, good friends who I do a lot of workshops with, I noticed that she's a part of a temple, and I asked her where they wear the green and yellow Ifa beads. Their the whole temple, everything's green and yellow, and I was for us, I'm like, oh, that's Lukumi, you know, but no, the green and yellow has a expression in Nigeria, and so seeing that, I'm like, yo, that's crazy, you know. So it's this tradition is so vast. So I agree with that. Everything both of y'all said.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll see. I went through the same thing because I was like, why are you all? But yeah, my Luo put me on. Yeah, you'll see them.
An iron aspect as well with the beads as well. So it's like both.
Oh, so y'all do both. Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So many different expressions, man. But like y'all said, same culture, just so many different expressions with that. So what made you guys go the Sheshe route? So many different expressions of Orisha in general. You know, you got, Lukumi or Regla de Ocha, you got Kendomble, you got Kimbanda, you got Shango Baptiste and Kele, and all of these different expressions of Orisha. What made y'all go the traditional West African Isheshe route?
So, well, I'll go ahead, because mine is different from his. So go ahead.
No, I was going to say that I think it's always important to answer this question in a non-disparaging way. I think that's always what the issue that we run into. Like, I think because people often ask me that, you know, and a lot of people, when they give that answer, it's like, oh, because I didn't like this, because And I think it's important for us to be able to give an answer of the affirmative of why Isheshe called to us, you know what I'm saying, without having to disparage Lukumi. For me personally, I respect Lukumi as its own tradition, you know. Actually, most of the people I grew up around in the tradition practice Lukumi. You know, as African Americans, a lot of our lineage comes from Oyotunji, a lot of it, you know, and that's Lukumi, some Isheshe in there too, or whatever. You know, so that's most of what I grew up around. For me personally, the language was a big piece. Like I was into studying African languages. I wanted to travel to Africa. That just has to do with my politics and things like that. So for me, it was just natural for me to want to go to Africa, to want to speak Yoruba language, things like that. And yeah, I still go to Cuba. You know, I have good friends who are Babalaos in the Lukumi tradition. We come together, we do work together. When they're in my house, they, you know, do, like one of my boys, he helped me do Hanabifa recently. He was pounding the other person's Ikin while I was pounding one. And although Lukumi has a way of reading Ikins, he did it the way I told him, hey, this is how you do it, not my house. And then when I go to his house, if he asks me, hey, I need you to pound some Ikin, I need you to do this, I say, hey, I'm going to do it the way that y'all do it in Lukumi. So to answer that question, for me, I was just like, I want to learn the language. I want to be in Africa. I want to repatriate. So Isheshe just seemed natural to me, but you know, I still have that modicum of respect for Condomble, Lukumi, you know, Shango Baptist, etc.
What about you, Iya?
Well, I would say I stumbled upon it, and I would explain a bit more because I grew up Christian. But I would say it wasn't like mainly in my household. It was like an uncle, you know. I would be with my cousins and go to church every day. It'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Saturday, every Sunday. So, yeah. But, you know, I was just, you know, I'm with my uncle, my aunt, you know, we all know if I'm going to my uncle's house, I'm going to church. You know, I knew that for a while, but it was, you know, not something that, like, I would say I was brought up in, like, not necessarily my immediate household. But it's all I knew. And it just, for me, and not to downplay anything, because I would say first and foremost, I appreciate and applaud anyone who is dedicated to something, who stays consistent with something, no matter the belief. No, if you are dedicated to it consistently and you move in that way, that's how you live your, I respect it day in and day out. I don't discriminate against none of that. But for me, I felt like I wasn't getting a connection. Like I would see everybody else in church and everything's going on, the music, people talking in tongues, and I'm like, am I supposed to understand? Because I don't. And then it just got to the point where, you know, this might be it for me, because I don't know what's going on. I might go to hell. I don't know. But I just felt like it just wasn't clicking. I had too many questions. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. That was never my angle. I just felt very unfulfilled. And I would say I always felt that way, even up until my 30s. And I started like branching off from that. I started not thinking that I had to go to church in order to get some fulfillment spiritually. But I didn't know what angle to go. I didn't know nothing about African traditions. I didn't know nothing about Isheshe at all. But ironically, I started researching out of nowhere. But then I started talking to an old high school friend who happens to now be my Ojibona. And we went to high school, we went to middle school together, high school together, and he just said, hey, yeah. He started talking about it. He was like, have you ever heard about it before? I said, no. Like, what is that? And then he was just like, my story is really crazy because for all the questions I had for Christianity, I had no questions when I heard about Isheshe. And I don't know what that was. He told me about it. He said, would you want to get divination done? I said, okay. I knew I was just drawn. I didn't know. I can't explain it. And not to sound cliche, I was literally just drawn. Maybe I was just following my Ori, but I just knew I was in search of something for so long. And once I heard it, once I had a flash of it, I was like, I think this is it. I don't know. And then once I got my first reading done, that's all she wrote. It clearly said that I was supposed to be doing this. So, and ever since then, I've gotten all my questions answered.
That's powerful.
Beautiful.
For me, being that my father was born in Gambia, West Africa, being that my political ideology was Pan-Africanism before Isheshe, I was looking for a vehicle to drive my African spirituality in. You know, I studied ancient Kemet. I've been to ancient Kemet. Learned how to read Medu Neter. It's a wonderful experience. But for me, the practitioner part was missing from ancient Kemet, being that the people have been long dispersed. And, you know, we're left with the beautiful, beautiful ruins today. But the practitioner part was something I was still looking for. So, you know, finding what Òrìṣà was and reading a book. After I finished the book, I was wondering, you know, I wonder what Òrìṣà I'm a child of. I wonder what the Òrìṣà speaks for me, you know. That is how I ran into the late Bàbá Ade Logun. I basically sought him out on the internet, and through our talks, he agreed to give me an Ifa divination. And the first thing he said was that I was a child of Ogun. Now, me, like every other brother in the community, I thought I was Shango. Look, like every other brother, I thought I was going to be Shango. But he told me, no, you are a child of Ogun. So I went back to the book and started reading about Ogun. And, you know, even though I got my divination from him for a while, I practiced with a temple that was an offshoot of Oyotunji. Later, I was still seeking the traditional route. So that is when I moved more towards Isheshe. And it was just a better fit for me. Like you said, the language portion. The language portion was important to me because the language to me is like the DNA of the culture. So you get to see through your ancestors' lens, through their words, through their expressions, through how they describe things, you know, and the thing about Yoruba language is, you know, it's something, it could be something so simple, but it's so profound at the same time. Like when I found out what Yoruba people called Muslims, it was so simple, but it was so profound. And for those that are wondering, the term is Olosuka. And Osuka is like a cloth. It's just like a rounded cloth, like a bound together. You see these under like some of the shrines. You know, it's just like a cloth to put between the shrine and what's keeping it up. So I was like, wait. And I asked my teacher, I was like, wait, are they saying owner of this? He's like, yeah. He's like, you see it around their heads. And I'm like, this is so simple. Like, because if you think about it, Yoruba people don't dress that way. So they just like, oh, the people that wear the things around their heads. So it's just such a simple observation, but you know, that's Yoruba language. So it gives you that insight into how they just even looked at the world. That was important to me. And you know, it's some of the most, you know, our chants are so beautiful, our Riki, the poetry. You know, for me, the Jala, you know, Remonja, you know, the funerary poetry of Ogun, and the poetry that we chant for the entertainment of Ogun. It's just a level that, you know, gave me the satisfaction to go forward and to learn more, not just about the Yoruba people, but more about myself. Because I wanted to know, like, why did I come with this deity? Like, what is it about this deity for me? And, you know, you go further and, you know, you get your initiation and you find out more and more. And it's just, you know, I think it's priceless information. I see so many people, you know, we all go through hardships, but, you know, some people go through things and you're like, man, I wonder if they would know their destiny, would they be in that situation? And that's something that, you know, Òrìṣà does for us, you know, and what Ifa does for us, what our different Òrìṣà do for us. So for me, that was the best option to go was the Isheshe. And like you said, all of the beautiful expressions of Òrìṣà around the world, it's a testament to the strength of our African ancestors. These Òrìṣà are even in so many places that they are. You know, every time I turn around, I find another country that has Òrìṣà. You're like, it's like, what, how is this possible? Like, you know, so it's like, man, they tried to erase and stomp out our culture, but they just couldn't do it. And it just expressed itself in a different way, at a different time, in a different place.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to add one small thing. I mean, I think although as Black people, Afro descendants around the diaspora, although we may have different stories and ways that we connected with the tradition, it's not happenstance. I think that it's our ancestors guiding us back towards the tradition. And it could happen a million different ways. Like all types of stories. Some people tripped and fell through a room, and they're like, "Where am I?" And it's a ceremony. And they're like, "Oh, I like it here." Some people had their barber was Babala, all types of stories. But I think that these are just the
I actually did have a barber that was an issue child.
Really? In Atlanta?
Yeah.
See, there you go. But I just feel like, these are, yes, the how, but I think the what is the same. Is our ancestors using tools to connect us back to the tradition, and similarly in my family as well, and for me, it's interesting. I come from a family where there's different cultural expressions. My brothers practice one tradition. I think that's an example of how, even within the same family, I think you were speaking to that point earlier, about you being guided to a certain lineage. I think even within the same family, the ancestors may call you, to different places. But I think it's all by design. The how may be different, but it's not happenstance. These are the children of Africa, returning to Africa.
Yeah, I just want to say I find it very interesting because, my first thought process wasn't really language or I would say even Africa necessarily, because I was just such in a spot where I was just trying to find meaning of life. Like you said, we all go through hardship. So that my first process was just like, I just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, what am I doing here? Times are hard and I'm just trying to find the answers. I'm trying to push through. And once I started getting in, knowing who I was, knowing who my head was, knowing what I'm supposed to be doing, you get a bit of confidence about yourself, about who you are, not just within the tradition, but as a Black person in this country, in America. You find a bit of purpose. And I would say now, as I'm going through my journey now, I'm getting more into the language, which is just another component of that confidence that you get, that I'm just so appreciative of. Because I would say during my Ifa initiation, Ifa said that even though this woman has traveled to America, like Africa to America, she's a true African woman. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like, Ifa made it clear that this is where I'm from. And it's just like knowing that I have the access now. I have access to the language, not just through the tradition, but just learning it and connecting that way and having so many connections back to where my people are from. I love it.
Irreplaceable knowledge right there. Irreplaceable. Life changing. Very, very powerful stuff. All right. I know this question is going to come up, so we might as well get this out the way. What Òrìṣà are y'all a child of, and what initiations are under you guys' belt? I'm not going first.
I think got got us beat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or not. I'll wait.
Time. So maybe we should get ours out the way real quick.
Yeah, it's gonna be real fast.
For me, it's just Ifa and Ọbàtálá. That's it. Yeah, I'm a child of Ọbàtálá, but as for anyone who's listening, as you know, on the Ìṣẹ̀ṣe side of the tradition, it can be one or more Òrìṣà that's significant for you. Like, yeah, we may have that one main Òrìṣà that we rep. There's other Òrìṣà. Ṣàngó speaks strongly in my Urdu as well. Ẹgbẹ́ is very strong for me. So these are initiations I have yet to do. But child of Ọbàtálá, initiate to Ifa as well. That's pretty much it.
Well, I am a child of Ògún.
Ògúnyè.
That is the Òrìṣà that said, "You gonna come with me." My lineage divinity is Ifa, so this is why I initiated to Ifa as well, Orunmila. Ṣàngó did say that I had to learn to worship him. Why I have a Ṣàngó shrine in my house, which I do worship. And that that's it. I'm pretty much, but I will be initiating to Egungun in the future. So, but I'm gonna cut it off because although I don't have a lot of initiations, I have a lot of shrines, and these old dunes, these annual festivals that we have to complete that is mandatory is enough right now. So one more and I am done. Unless Ifa says,
Oh yeah.
whatever.
All right, last drum roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna give a minute. Who y'all think owns my head? Well, y'all probably already know. Y'all, some of y'all follow me. So
I'm gonna guess the king.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I will share.
Wait, which king?
That's
I was saying
the king of Oyo.
Because Batala is a king now. Don't. No, but go ahead.
True. But my head is my amazing Baba Shango. I am Shango Kemi. Yes. And I want to share a little story about that. So like I said, I ain't know nothing about this. So, my ear calls me back. She's like, yeah, you're a child of Shango. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, well, who that? And
who that?
Right. I was like, and because she looked at me, her eyes was wide. She was like she couldn't believe it. She was like, yeah, you're a child of Shango. I was like, okay. I started looking them up. I started reading about it. I was like, oh, I can see. I understand now.
I did the same thing with Oko.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But I digress. But I will say in the beginning when I first was learning, at first I'm like, I don't get it, right? And I'm thinking like everybody's saying Shango, he's a warrior, don't mess with him, he's rude. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm thinking once I did my initiation, yeah, I'm gonna be a warrior. I'm gonna have a warrior path. Don't mess with me. No, that is not the case. My name is Shango Kemi, which means Shango pampers me. I'm a pamper child of Shango. And I
woman.
Really Shango tell me to sit down. I need to go sit down somewhere. And I have many taboos that speaks to that, where I can't be that rah-rah. I thought I was. No, I'm not meant to be that. I've had life moments where I had to in my younger years, but I'm realizing I was never meant to do that or be that type of person. So what I've also learned is I have a few initiations under my belt. That yes, I'm a child of Shango. However, Ogun walks closely with me. And when I say closely with me, I see Ogun in my dreams. He be in my house. Yeah. He comes to me in many dreams, many messages. So I had to initiate to Ogun. Also, Obatala is close with me. So I finished my Obatala initiation. I also had to do Oboloaye. Yeah. Let me see if I forgot. Oh, of course, Egbe. I'm very close to my Egbe. Very, very close. And Ifa did say that even though I'm a child of Shango, my primary Òrìṣà is my Ori. I had to do Ori and have that solidified, that connection to complement my Ifa initiation, because my Ori is my prime Òrìṣà all day and every day. And I know that's basically for all of us, but it's very important for me that I always get to my Ori, speak to my Ori, just sit with my Ori. Is very important for my destiny. Not saying I'm crazy. I might, no, okay. But all I'm saying is I'm very thankful that I was able to do these initiations that I really needed, because they're a big part of my destiny. I do have more. So I do have Egungun. I have Olokun. So yeah, and a couple more, but yeah. So, dear, they're coming along. But I'm very, very thankful. Very, very thankful.
So that's 4 initiations so far. Did I get that right?
No, about 6, ain't it? You said
Yeah.
Shango, Ifa, Ogbe,
Oh, E5.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I did.
Ogun.
That's 6.
Oboloaye. Yep.
Woo! Which out of those 6, which initiation would you say was the hardest initiation?
I wouldn't say the hardest.
Or the most physically taxing, I should say.
My Oboloaye.
I was going to either guess that one or Ogun, one of the 2.
Oh, that was for 2 very different reasons. Even my Obatala last was that I can't explain it. It was like, and my ear kind of jokes with me too, because she's like, you got all these male Orishas on your head. I'm like, yes, but they all telling me to sit down. But I would say like it's a power. Like I can't explain it. Like I know with my last one, Obatala, they had to hold me down. And it was just, I can't explain. It was just an energy that I felt like I could fly. Like, I just felt like I can just, like, you know, that part of the movie, like, you know, in the Matrix or with Blade and everybody on him. And then he goes down and like, that's how I felt. And they just had to hold me down. I just wanted to stomp. I wanted to fly. I wanted to, I don't know. But with Oboloaye, the reason why it was difficult because it was, I was going through a lot with my health at the time. So it was not only taxing mentally, it was taxing spiritually, and it was taxing physically. And spiritually, physically, and mentally, because it was a lot of stuff going on with my health, and I was getting really scared. I was getting really nervous. Didn't know what was happening. It was some scary times, but I wasn't really sharing with many people. I'm not much of a sharer when it comes to things like that. And when I did that initiation, it gave me a lot of answers. It revealed a lot of things. And like I would say the second night, it's just I heard someone in my ear and they just said, Ayoka, death no more. Death is gone. So, and after I heard that, I was able to sleep for the first time during that whole year. So when that happened, it was powerful.
Wow. Yeah, you know, I only got 2, so my initiation is like night and day. My old goon was, I was like, and I did them back to back. So I really never left the grove. So I was like, that's it. That's all.
Yep.
You sure? Yep. Old goon, sheesh.
Well, I will say, but my first year I did Ifa and Shango, and I was like back to back. But with Shango, I was having a party. Okay, that first night I was dancing, and I could not stop dancing. I wanted to party all night long. I couldn't sleep. I was partying. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel good.
Oh man. Well, us 3 coming together. For me, known Bàbá Ade for some years. You know, I always look out for young people in the tradition that have that drive, you know, like me. And I found Bàbá Ade, like most people find him on Instagram, making these videos, man. I was like, this dude is funny, man. But yeah, then finding out about your brothers and you know, your whole family, then buying his I bought your hip hop proverbs book. You know, I was like, man, this brother is he's serious about the tradition. Then finally meeting you at the Bonbon's house, brother Ifalo at his house. So yeah, that was kind of how, you know, we linked up, and then I started seeing this sister making videos, you know, and I'm like, oh man, this is somebody else making these videos, man. This is cool. So I figured, you know, why not bring, you know, our audiences together? Why not bring our knowledge together? Being that we were from different lineages, different experiences, we all do work, we all have different, you know, elays, and you know, so I just thought it would be a great idea. I hit him up about it, and you know, that's really how this podcast came to be. Because I said, well, why not? You know, a lot of people, you know, they have their own things going on, and it's, you know, it's competition, and sometimes it can be, you know, a little tense. But you know, from my understanding, you know, collaboration is a part of this tradition. You know, you can't do no initiations by yourself.
Not at all.
And if you find somebody that said that they can, run. Because it's impossible.
Hide your wife, hide your kids. No.
Yeah, please make tracks because it's impossible. So collaboration is a fundamental part of this tradition. There's no way around it. You know, you have to have people, qualified people, to help you during certain things in this tradition. You know, Ose is one thing, divination is another, but when you talk about the more intricate parts of this tradition, you're gonna need some help. So I figured, why not grab my brother and my sister, you know, to help me push this message of Isheshe out to our people in the community. We got somebody. He wanted one of your books, Baba. He said, how can he get that book?
Okay, I'm gonna send to you, and if you can send it to him.
Okay.
Cool. Like that.
Cool. We're gonna get that link for you, bro. For sure. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it. So it's because the master proverb man, Bàbá Ade, compares, you know, lyrics and all types of things to what you find in African traditions. You know, him and his brother can go proverb for proverb all day long. So you know, he's well versed, and it'll be something you enjoy for sure.
But no, yeah, to your point, I agree. I mean, I think in our generation, you know, coming together, building linkages, build each other up, things like that. As Ifa says in many you know, verses, proverbs, and things like that, you know, people come together to help each other. You know, what does Ifa say in Ologbomeji? When the eyes are two, they see better than one. Ujushe meji awura. You know, SSA meji. I didn't know when the legs are two, they see better than one. Well, in this case, it's three of us. So then we gotta adapt that. Well, when the eyes are three, they see better than one. So we got the two eyes, and then we got the third eye here. But little Ifa humor in there. But no, I do think it's you know, us coming together as our wolves. You know, I think it's beautiful. You know, and this is how the tradition continues to prosper. You know, and I think it's also just important to have those authentic voices too. You know, as more people, as there's a resurgence in the tradition, because like growing up in this tradition, I was the weird kid with the beads and the colorful shirts. And I was like, yo, like I gotta explain, like I remember, y'all in the chat are gonna crucify me for saying this, but I remember one time my parents had got me a new fresh set of beads, and I did not want to wear them joints. I was like 12. I just took them off and I left them somewhere. I did not want to wear them.
Terrible.
I do not want to wear these. And so,
what kind of beads were they?
So my con, they was the icon ones, but it was like maybe a set of 4. I was people kept asking me questions about them. I took the joints off. I just put them somewhere. So I say all this to say, you know, I think it's beautiful that so many people are getting into tradition, but I think it's important for authentic voices to be there. You know, like people who actually are doing this stuff for real, not the let me give you all shroom reading with tarot. You know, none of that, like real authentic voices. So I'm happy to be here. And yeah, happy to be doing this podcast.
And I would just say, you know, it's really beyond, you know, who owns your head and, oh yeah, I'm Moshango and I wear this and I wear all this. It's really about your progress. It's about your elevation. It's about your healing. It's about what you really want out of this life. It's about what you're striving for and what you desire deep down. So if someone's trying to give you the okie doke or say this is an easy peasy, no, it will never be that way, because anything worth having is worth working hard to get.
And it's work.
That's a good point.
I be telling people it's work. They don't believe me until they show up, and I'm like, I hold this bird.
If I wasn't so dedicated, I'd be like, you know what, take me back to church. You know, no disrespect. I'm just saying, like, let's get it's easy,
work.
okay?
It is work. Hey, you coming to work. You just gonna sit down and chill? Absolutely not.
Not at all. This ain't the tradition.
Brother,
okay,
I don't see. I gotta get some more copies of my book, man. I don't have no copies.
Well, I'm gonna have a book soon. I don't know.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it. We need. That's another. We need more Isheshe writers as well, because you know our greats, our elders are getting older. You know, the Araba Shogbo is getting older. The Awishe of Ile-Ife is getting older. You know, we're gonna need new age Isheshe material. You know, so we definitely need more writers, because just because you're a priest doesn't mean you're gonna write. You know, we got thousands of priests, but we count on two hands people that wrote books.
That's
so you know, we definitely need more writers. Brother Infinite Minds, we'll work something out, man. He asked if you were one of the brothers that helped teach the language. Yes, that is him. That is him in the middle there. With the language, yes.
I'm getting there, little something. You know what I'm saying?
Little.
With the
little.
Yes.
Yoruba language is no joke.
At all.
It is no joke.
In line, definitely. But yeah, definitely. We'll I put in the description of this video everybody's Instagram name and where you can find them. So look in the description, hit us up, find us on IG. As you know, I'm Black Panther Mossi. That basically comes from I liked Black Panther as a kid. When I found out it was a black superhero from Africa, I was all in. I was like, get in on this. Who is this guy? Oh, let me read more about him. So everybody thinks it's from the group. It is not from the group. I have never been a Black Panther. It is the superhero, and just reading his story, I feel like that gives us a great blueprint, because the city of Wakanda is technologically advanced, but they never abandoned their traditions. They still had all of their ancestral traditions. I think that's a way forward for African people. I've always felt that way. So that is why I'm Black Panther. And y'all know I am one of the founders of the Mossi, MossiWarriorClan, the YouTube channel we're on now. So that is my YouTube handle. My Instagram handle, Black Panther Mossi. So that's where you can find me. for the majority of the content that I put out. Ògújìnmí is, of course, my Ogun initiated name, which means Ogun has dashed me. Ogun is heavy upon me. Not everybody acts like their Òrìṣà. I just happen to act like mine. That's just something with me.
Me too. Me too.
And the more I read about this guy, I was like, oh wow, I do that all the time. They say Ogun will ask you a question like after like 100 years or something. He'll ask you about that one time. Yeah, I do that. I will ask. I'll be like, you remember that time you said? It still don't make sense to me. What was you saying? My wife will tell you. I do that. So yeah, that's my Instagram handle and what my Yoruba name means. Mystic Amazon. Where you get that from?
Okay, so I, even though I'm a woman, I do act like my head Òrìṣà. I can't deny that. And not in so many ways. It's just maybe, how I may carry the room, or I may say a joke here or there, but it really does speak to my Ifa name, which is Ayoka. Ayoka means a joyous person, to rejoice around, spread joy. And I was always told I'm always in the festive mood. I don't know. I just can't explain it. So I came up with Mystic Amazon. I think what I believed in the beginning, because I'm a daddy's girl. My dad raised me. So I always thought I could do what my dad could do. You can't tell me nothing. And if my dad said I could do it, then I can do it. Like, I don't care who I'm going up against. You could be bigger than me, stronger than me. You could be a man. I don't care. If I fail, then you're going to feel me later. So, but I just felt like Amazon part was just like a mindset, because a lot of people be like, Mystic Amazon, but you only like 5'4". I'm like, so? And
I
my
was
mom
gonna ask
like
where you tall. I was gonna ask.
Exactly. But I'm like, I can come across a bit mysterious, I guess, or people just say I'm different. I don't know. So I was just like, all right, Mystic Amazon, because I feel like it's a mindset. Yeah, I might be small in stature, but I want to do big things, and I'm going to do big things. So it was just, the thing where I'm like, it sounds cute, Mystic Amazon. They'll figure it out. So I just wanted that, because it's like, I don't care if I'm small. I'm still big in what I'm doing out here.
All right.
Me. Okay. Well, so y'all did your Yoruba names and then your Instagram handle too. Okay.
You ain't gotta do all yours, man.
Okay. Ade Tayo. So it just means like the crown is equal to joy. So Ade is crown, To is to be equal to, Ayo is joy. So like the crown is worthy of, equal to joy. Efun Bukola means Obatala, like adds to my prosperity. What else? Ifa Korede means Ifa brings Ire, brings wealth. Ko to pack, Ire, blessings, day to arrive. So like Ifa like takes Ire and arrives with it. My Instagram handle, so many people think it's my name. Orire is not my name. So many people call me that. I've just stopped correcting people. They just be like, oh, what's up, Orire? What's up, Orire? I'd be like, hey, look, that's my name, But no, it just means like someone who's blessed, or like Ori head, Ire, blessings. So like in Yoruba language, you can greet someone like, let's say you found some money on the ground, or you won the lottery, or you did something like fortunate, you could greet them at Kuorire, which is like you greeting them for their like blessed head, like, hey, like, so in that sense, Orire is just someone who's lucky, blessed, have a good destiny, blessed head. So that's not my name, but I don't know how I came up with that. I think, yeah, I did that so long ago. I just liked it, and yeah.
Gotcha. Orire. It's not the brother's name.
You can't tell people that.
Yeah.
You Baba Orire.
Hey, I've been talking about you to people and saying Ade Tayo. They had no idea who I was talking about. When I said Orire, they were like, oh.
Oh yeah, him.
Now we here. You ain't know, you didn't know his real name.
Yeah.
Well, it's just how it is sometimes. It's just how it is. Yeah, being a woman in Isheshe, what are some things you want women to know coming into this tradition?
That's a good question. I would say really be in tune on what you want. What I mean by that is if you're truly aspiring to be elevated, if you're desiring to have family, a spouse, money, good health, whatever it is, and I know that's with all of us, but I would say mainly women in this tradition have an open mind, have a try not to go into it negatively. I would say that. And really be honest with yourself, what it is you actually want and what it will take for you to obtain it. Like we all have our separate journeys and things we have to sacrifice, things we may have to change, things, taboos we may have. Because I'll give you an example. With me, I will curse up a storm. Let me tell you something. I curse you out. You'd have thought I knew a whole separate language, just cursing you out. With my Ifa initiation, I got a taboo of not cursing. I can't curse no more.
Ooh, that's tough.
And us women may feel sometimes like, oh, we may feel less than or this and that. It's not that. It's not, and you have to kind of be a bit humble sometimes. Because even like, if someone wants to confront me and this and that, and I got to take a deep breath because I can't be like, it's not me. That's my own particular journey. I'm just saying you might be met with things where you feel like, oh, I feel less than, and it's not. And that's, again, not just mainly us, that's anybody. You may get taboos or things you can't do anymore. You'd be like, oh, who am I? What am I doing? What am I becoming? And it may feel like that at times, but you're becoming who you're destined to be. You're becoming the person who becomes the wife. You're becoming the person who becomes a mother. You're becoming the person who becomes successful. You're becoming the person that you always wanted to be. Always wanted to be. I would just say, just be open. Just be open and willing to really be honest with yourself. Have humility with yourself first. And then just know that, Ifa's going to guide you. Ifa is going to guide you. And it's never a thing where someone is superior or inferior. Like, we are needed just as much as men. They can't get nothing done with us, and we can't get nothing done without them. So, and we have things in tune with us naturally that whether you're in this tradition or not, you always have. You always have. Your ashe is powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. What you put your hands on are powerful. We have the power to create or destroy. And that's something that we all have, and we can't deny it. It's just when we, ground it and really understand what we need to use with our own power. That's what Ifa gives us. It gives us a guide on how to actually maneuver this natural power that we have.
All right. So, sisters, y'all heard what she said. Take that into consideration. You know, women are so powerful in this tradition. I tell dudes all the time, if you got a problem with women, this is the wrong tradition for you, because they coming with the heat. And women are more powerful than men in this tradition.
And that's what I will say compared to Christianity. Like when I heard about like, you know, Oya or the Iyami or Oshun, like, you know, Eden, it's like, these some strong women. It's like, you know, I can relate to that. I'm a strong woman. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Like,
a
what?
whole song about Oya being stronger than her husband.
Exactly. That's why I'm just like,
and her husband known as the warrior. Like, like, yeah, you might be scared of him, but if she come out here,
I feel like I had prime examples of my voice. Like, I'm important here. Like, I'm needed here. I'm not belittled here. Like, if somebody comes in this space, I'd be like, all right, oh yeah. Or I'd be like, all right, me, say something. You know what I mean? Like, I've just felt like, you know, I have those examples, you know, to look to understand me being a woman, period.
Yeah, that's a key difference. Women are portrayed in very powerful positions in Isheshe versus some other religions or traditions. Isheshe, you will find stories of women doing everything.
Yes.
Being kings, being rulers, being diviners, being merchants at the marketplace, being deciding factors in the world. Like you will see all of that in our corpus and in our Odu and in our Itan. Not so much in our monotheistic brothers and sisters books. But you know, that's just an African thing in general. So do with that information what you will. I want to know how y'all started doing these Òrìṣà Instagram comedy videos. That's what I want to know.
Ooh, that's a good question. So I originally wasn't even doing Òrìṣà comedy specifically. I was just doing memes in general because I've always been kind of like you know what I'm saying? When we hang out, we'll laugh, we'll be cracking jokes for hours and hours. I'm kind of the same way. Always cracking jokes. So I started out just doing memes in general. As I started leaning more into doing spiritual content and speaking about, you know, this aspect of my life that I kind of kept off social media for a while. After I started doing that, I was like, you know, why not kind of marry the two? You know, we kind of have our own inside jokes, you know. I think that's the beauty of it. Some of these memes I make, if you have not experienced it, you just will not get it. You know, like I had made one about like when your homie is 6'2", 200 pounds, he's scared to hold a bird. Like someone from outside the tradition would not get that. They would not get that, you know, all these things. Or when he found, I had another one that was like, when you thought you was gonna have a hot girl summer and Ire Mall comes out in the divination. It's like, if you don't know what that is and you don't have those experiences, then you wouldn't get it, you know. So for me, I was just like, I can still be that comedian that I am, you know, but within these spaces and this inside jokes that we have, you know.
I think the one that stands out in my mind about with you was when the sister came for a divination and she said, I just know I'm a child of Oshun. And the diviner was like, it says Ogun. She was like, can you read it again? She's like, no.
That's not really. I'm gonna let y'all in a secret. I be basing these jokes off people. If the people I be saying, and I be like, sis, your name is Yellow Sunflower Goddess Oshun. Now you know. You may find out you're a child of Shargo, you're a child of Ogun. You may find that out. You ready to change that whole.
Man, I know people like that. They They refuse to change it. Now
They
you know if I said that you're a child of Obatala. Take the Oya down.
take it down. Take it down.
You know what I said. Come on, man. You want to be that bad?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would say with me, I always did funny videos. It would just be something I would laugh at myself, and then I'd be like, all right, let me see if other people think this funny, because I think this is hilarious. And it would be like lip syncing or just mouthing stuff, doing like scenes from a movie. And then I started to like then link it and relate it to Isheshe. And it just cracked me up even more. So I'm just like, you know what? I just want to share this because I think this is hilarious. So, and some of it be based on myself. So I'm like, if I can laugh at myself, y'all go ahead and just laugh too, because this is hilarious.
Yeah, y'all be killing me, man. I be at work, pull up the IG on my break or something. I'm like, oh my God, they had it again. They had it again.
This is a black podcast because I'm over here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm over here eating a little bit. It's a black.
What you over there eating?
I mean, some goat with some mac and cheese and some stuff like that. That's a real authentic black podcast.
Tell us you have Caribbean in your DNA without telling us you have Caribbean in your DNA. The goat has given you away, my friend. He did not even say curry goat. It is regular goat.
Yes, goat. We said some goat.
That's that Haitian coming out you, bro. That's that Haitian coming out. You say you want me to curry? No, just give me the goat. No, just man. What's some good books that y'all can think of for people that want to know more about the tradition? I'm gonna get in some of them comedy videos too. I'm gonna get.
Let's go. I'm
gonna get in some for sure.
We waiting. Cause this brother is hilarious. You know, he hasn't leaned into that side of his stuff, but this dude is hilarious. We be on the phone cracking up. This dude is hilarious.
Hey man, I do what I can, man. You know. But
let me see books.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do this. I want to be shady and do books not to get, but we'll do that another time.
That should be another episode.
We'll do that another time.
Oh, I got a whole list of them.
That book somebody posted yesterday that said, I won't say the author, that said Egungun came from Egun Ogun. I am the medicine of Ogun.
That really bothered me because he made like 4 posts. I said, man,
oh man. I'm trying to think of books. So a lot of Chief Farmer's books are very good. She has respect to Iya. She has the 16 mythological stories of Ifa. Chief Farmer, that's a great one.
Classic. I got that.
He has the Practitioner's Guide, the Òrìṣà. What's that one called? The Òrìṣà's Beginners. I forget the name of it.
Handbook for practitioners, something like that. But
yes.
It's a brown book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that book is really for people that are actually practicing Ifa. You will see a lot of the things that you learn in that book for sure.
Great. She has great knowledge. Anything by sorry, so I'll just give one more. Anyone by Bàbá Ade. He has some good some great books. He has that Ohuenu Ijile Ifa. I think that's the name of it, but it's like all these verses just that he goes through different aspects of life, and he speaks about Ifa, he gives Ifa verses that speak about that aspect, good and evil, truth, this and that. He has a lot of good books. But sorry, yeah, you were gonna give another one?
No, it's just one. Maybe I'll have a next episode. I can't remember, and I have it here. I'll show it next time. I think it's called Proud to be Isheshe Workbook, or is a workbook, Isheshe Workbook.
The Hand of Ifa one, I think I'm
in purple. But I'll have it next time. I gotta
Mhm.
find. I have it in here, but I read it when I started out. And even if you don't, like, it's good to just read it. It's good to just have it and work with it. I like how it goes into depth even before initiation. It's for someone who, you know, you can use it now as if you are initiated, but it's really good for someone who's just starting out, who wants to learn, who wants to break this down, get more information. It's a good read.
I think If I Will Heal a Broken World by Wande Abimbola. That's a good one. If you want to know like the differences between like Regla de Ocha and Isheshe, that's a good book. It talks about a lot of the common topics that people talk about. So I think that's a good one. Iyere Ifa by the Rabba Ogoshogbo. Elego Ibon. I think that's a good one. I think he's on his second edition of that book, actually.
He has some good one, like the one about the Yami, the invisible powers of
Yeah.
Got that one as well.
Yeah, I got that one.
Is it in here? This book right here would be good for women if you get it marked as this right here. This is a good book. Apeti B. This is also by Derabo Oshoko. Apeti B has will come out in divination for some women to be a wife of Ifa. So that book just kind of goes over what an Apetibi is, where the term comes from, some of the roles and responsibilities of Apetibi, some of the ceremonies that they do for Apetibi. So that's a real good book to get. My wife read it when she found out that she was an Apetibi. I said, well, you're with the right man.
There you go.
Papola Senior has some good ones. Papola Senior, he has a good one about character. That Omoluabi, that one
Classic.
That's a really, really good one. It has verses about every aspect of what Iwa character is from the Yoruba perspective. A lot of good ones.
Yeah, that's a classic book right there. That's you kind of have to go on his website to get that one. It's kind of harder books. Unfortunately, some of the real good books in this tradition are kind of getting harder to find. I don't know what was going on a couple of years ago. I referenced this book called The Yoruba from Southwestern Nigeria. All our listeners have heard me talk about this book before by William Bascom. But as soon as I mentioned the book, it started going up in price. It used to be like $20. It's up to like $100 now.
Expensive.
Man, listen, people start buying them books. Whoever's selling them is jacking up the prices. Crazy. But yeah, that's a real good book to talk about the culture in general. There's some more. I have some more for next broadcast. Keep y'all, learning and reading about the culture. You say it, Infinite Minds asked, was the practice manual for E5 professionals on? I think it was at one point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have that one. That's the brown one, the practical.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on Amazon.
The official book from she found on Amazon. Yeah, I don't know about it. It's on Amazon. No, I've ordered several of her books from Amazon. They're on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It should be. If not, you probably can search like A Books or I'm trying to think of any of the other. I think Ifa Works was selling it. Yeah, some other websites that y'all can get. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and EI with your story, because this segment is called So Boom. If you follow her on Instagram, you'll know why it's called So Boom. You have the floor, yeah.
Okay, so I really love reading about the stories. I love sharing them, learning about them. So let me see. This one is from Ikameji. And I could be saying this wrong. It's about fire. Ina. So fire was, really thinking about life. Felt like he wasn't being respected. People didn't take him serious. And he was really frustrated about that. He felt like his enemies were just brushing him off. Felt like he wasn't important in life. So he did divination. And like I always say, sorry, boom. So he did divination, and the Babalao told him just to do the ebos, and he will be feared. He will be not taken lightly, and he would make people have caution. So he did the ebos, everything went through, and it's a reason why when you add palm oil to fire, it flames up. And that's why people stay back, people are cautious. And that's why, we look at flame, fire, and we're always cautious of it. We always have respect for it. And we don't play with it, and we take caution. So that is my story for today.
Absolutely. So poetically, you can see within our corpus, like, it's talking about the nature of fire, how he got to that point, but it's also teaching you a lesson to do your ebo, your sacrifice. Yeah. Do your sacrifice, and what the diviner has revealed will come to pass, because all are cautious of fire today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of stories I have where, not everybody do the ebo. And you understand why to do the ebo is very important.
Yeah. There are many verses where people ain't do it and they were dissatisfied.
Yep.
So yeah. So yeah, y'all, we thank y'all for coming out and hanging with us on this weeknight. It's the first episode of what we hope to be many more. We are our Mẹta, and, like, share, subscribe, share with the Yoruba community at large, and help us grow this thing, man. We're trying to get it as big as we can get it, y'all. Y'all got anything to say before we wrap up?
No, this was great. I'm happy to be here. Happy to be in conversation and community with y'all wonderful Black people. And I'm excited.
I'm also happy to be here. I'm only a couple years into the game, but I'm very dedicated to this. I'm thankful to be amongst you guys, and just be in the same room. I'm very thankful for it, to be able to share my story, to be able to hear other stories, and just have a good time. So
sure, man. Odabo, y'all have a good night.